Okay, hello YouTube. Thanks for watching. So this video, I'm going to be talking about lead generation. I'm going to be talking about paid traffic. Now, this video is not going to be for everybody. All right. So, before you suddenly come into my inbox, and you've never done anything like this before, thinking that this is the direction to go, it's not necessarily, right? I do this, a certain amount, but it's not everything that I do. You need to be mixing it up with, everything else that you're doing, such as Facebook marketing, or uploading YouTube content, Instagram, on other social media platforms. You need to be doing that. You also need to be getting into networking with people, having conversations with people on Messenger, chat, that kind of thing. So don't think, because I get a lot of people coming into my inbox thinking that this is just an easy way that they can replace, so they don't have to get out of their comfort zone and do the other important things. But guys, you do need to, you need to consider whether this is the direction you want to go in. It's not for everybody. All right. And, there are people who just seem to insist that this is the only way to go, and then they end up losing a lot of money. I'm just keeping it real. I've been doing this sensibly for, a lot of years. And, people have to understand that I don't really do paid traffic, or, this kind of lead generation for the sole purpose of specifically promoting directly to my LiveGood business. Yes, I've got campaigns here and it says LiveGood funnel and so on, but I understand what to expect with leads like this. I'm not putting everything I have, or, I'm not putting a lot of money, and I'm not investing a lot of money into doing this. But my purpose is because I'm doing it because I'm building up my leads list for the long term. All right, because I know that I'm going to be following up with them. I'm going to be nurturing them. I'm going to be doing lead magnets. I'm going to be following up with them relentlessly, not expecting to necessarily get signups immediately. That can happen down the road, but that's got nothing to do with whether specifically a lead source like this is going to be the sole responsibility of getting you a sign up. What's important is what you do once you start getting those leads. All right. So once you start getting leads that you're paying for here, you really do need to be following up with them, building up a know, like, and trust, nurturing them, and not just promoting LiveGood stuff, just, trying to figure out where they're at. They probably got other businesses that they're promoting. So offer them, some value, some recommendations, try to get them onto social media, communicate with them. All right. So it's all relative. That's what you're doing on social media anyway. And you're trying to build, those different channels up, so that you can get to a point where you can have a conversation with them. That's what you're doing here. It's what you're doing on YouTube. It's what you're doing on Facebook. It's what you're doing on Messenger. It's what you're doing on the various chat systems like WhatsApp or Skype, or, even, eventually trying to get people onto a Zoom call or whatever. So anyway, let's talk about Traffic Zest. That's what this video is about. It's to review Traffic Zest. Okay, so I've got some campaigns going, and I'm paying for the traffic that I'm sending to a lead capture page. All right, so I'm not sending the traffic directly to the LiveGood website. Okay, so before people ask me, because they can't be bothered to watch all my video, so they do ask me what I'm actually going to be telling you in this video, and that is, obviously, yes, LiveGood. If you're promoting LiveGood, they don't like you using cold traffic. Yes, let me repeat. Absolutely, they do not want you to promote LiveGood website with cold traffic. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm sending the traffic directly to my funnel that's basically generic, and I'm trying to get them onto my leads list. Once they're there, I build up a relationship with them. I know, like, and trust. I'm following up with them. Then I can have a conversation with them and pitch them about my LiveGood business. There's nothing different with doing that than what I'm doing on Facebook, really, because I'm still doing the same thing. And at the end of the day, everybody you meet, and the people I've met in this industry who have now become good friends, and they've, been in other businesses with me, and we've worked together before in the past, they were once a cold lead. So, regardless of what people tell you, you shouldn't be paying for traffic or whatever. Well, that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years, or last 8+ years. And so some of the people who eventually joined me in LiveGood were once a cold lead. But because I follow up a lot and I build up those relationships, they eventually, pay attention to what I'm doing. So, finally now down the road, when I finally join a company like LiveGood, I've got a lot of people to talk to because I've already built up that relationship with them. So that's what we're doing with cold traffic. So it's not really that different to what you're doing on social media, but, with the, having conversations with people. All right. But the advantage of this in some ways is that you can, on the one hand, you can get with a lot more people, but there's no point in trying to hammer your website with, tens of thousands of hits. Well, that's not what you're going to be doing here. You need to, manage your traffic so that you're not getting too much, because you need to stay on top of it, because you're going to be following up with them. So if you're getting, 200, 300, or if you're paying for a 500 lead, blast, and you can't handle the following up process, you're wasting your money. People think, oh, I'm going to buy a big package of, 500 clicks. But what's the point if you can't handle the following up process? Because guys, once you get those tour takers, or once you get those, even before the tour taker, forget about the tour taker for the moment. Once you get the lead coming into your leads list, you need to be following up with them, and that's essential. And if you're having too many people coming in on your leads list and you haven't got time to follow up with them, you're wasting your money. So, I'm going to show you how you can manage things here. Now, I love Traffic Zest, and I've got a page here that you can promote Traffic Zest. These are my recommended traffic sources. I'll put the link below so you can get access to Traffic Zest on this button here. You've also got Wholesale Premium Traffic, Superb Clicks, which is a new one I've recently added, and people are, liking this. Scalable solo ads and so on. And then there are a bunch of others, and Kevin's good, lead gen secrets and traffic ad bar. So, you've got a bunch of stuff here that I like. I put Traffic Zest at the top because actually it's one of my favorite. And they're all good. I like them all, guys. Wholesale, I mean, they're not really in any particular order, in all honesty. They've all gotten me results. Let me just say that. They've all gotten me results. I'm talking about signups into LiveGood. Traffic Zest, you can set up your campaign. Now, it's also got an affiliate program as well. And with the affiliate program, I've got 635 referrals. I've earned over $1,417, okay, with this traffic program. And I've withdrawn 1,389, okay. But I'm basically feeding the traffic back into Traffic Zest. I'm putting the traffic and I'm sending out to my traffic rotator. All right. Not everyone gets on that traffic rotator. People have to really prove to me, at least get their team to silver. All right. I'm really working with people, so basically here's the situation, guys. I got 3 legs. I got 3 really key legs. All right. And then there are some other legs as well outside of those legs that are starting to prove to me that they're really, ready to get up to bronze and silver. And, I'm looking for leaders. Now, Jeff Amon's leg, which is the big leg, he's your leader. All right. I'm up there as well. I'm here to support you guys. Jeff Amon's got huge things going on. And at the moment, I'm just trying to build some volume so that I'm going to be getting up to diamond very shortly, and I'm working with the Scandinavian team. I'm working with another team. I've got Joy's team here in Japan, and we've got a number of things going on. So I'm just juggling with what I can cope with. All right. There's a lot to cope with. I've got about 98, 90, we're talking almost 100,000 people in my downline, and a large percentage of those are down through Jeff's leg. So Jeff, that leg, if you're in under Jeff Amon, you've got a lot of leadership. Okay. You guys are lucky. You got a lot of leadership in that leg. All right. So I'm just doing what any network, professional network marketer would do to support his team as best as one can. It's not unlike, running a company. All right. We put leaders in place to support where that's needed. And we've got a lot of leadership in Jeff's leg. I'm blessed to have Jeff there, and I'm blessed to have you guys. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build up other volume outside of that and have people supported, which, you know, obviously they don't have such support, you know, from Jeff. So I'm just trying to be that, you know, extra support for the guys like in the Scandinavian team and the team Japan. So hope you understand. So I do have a traffic rotator, but you know, it will depend on who, you know, is eligible to get onto that. So you've got to prove to me that anyway. So basically, got a funnel here, and I'm sending the traffic to the rotator. Okay. So this is what that funnel looks like. So when I refresh the page, it goes to another page. Oops. Oh, it's going to the same page. There it is. So yeah, it has some unique pages. There's a whole bunch of them. I don't know why it's not showing them all, but there it is. There's another one. So yeah, there's a few others as well, but I'm not going to rotate through them all. You know, there are, you know, I'm just putting people onto the traffic rotator, you know, basically a silver leg outside Jeff's team at the moment. This is what I'm trying to do. I can't get everybody on the rotator. I'm just trying to get some people to catch up a little bit, you know. So, you know, I'm looking at silvers, you know, so that if you're a silver, I'll get your team on there. All right. So get yourself up to silver and we'll get you on the rotator. Also, you know, you make good use of Traffic Zest if you want to, okay, but it's not the only thing you should be focused on. You need to be doing the whole thing. You know, you need to be doing social media, you need to be networking with people, talking to say 40, 50 people a day in Messenger, just to get people, you know, looking at LiveGood, looking at the free tour video, to have a conversation with people, build up that know, like, and trust, you know, get people onto social media. Build up a YouTube channel, that kind of thing. So this is just extra, you know, have things going on in the background. Make sure you do follow up with your leads. You know, also, as I said, we've got this one. So at the bottom of this page, you'll get this page with the link below. Actually, hold a minute. Yeah. If you want this page, you can reach out to me privately. Don't comment asking for this share code for this page. Don't comment under the video because I can't send it to you in the comments. It's just no point. You've got to get in touch with me, all right, privately. Send me a private message on Facebook Messenger or whatever, and then I'll get you the share code to this page. We've also got the share code page for LiveGood here. Okay, I'll put this page below so that you can get the share codes for these pages as well, so you can you know, promote LiveGood. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, just a little bit of value, guys, but I don't want, you know, obviously I don't want people to think that this is mandatory and that something like Traffic Zest or paid traffic or, you know, this kind of lead generation or setting up a funnel or whatever, it's not a mandatory thing. Okay. One thing I do think is mandatory is to be active on social media. Okay. And then, you know, I mean, I think doing this is great, but don't solely focus on just doing this kind of thing. You know, you'll end up losing a lot of money, you know, and definitely don't even do it unless, you know, you've got a willingness to follow up with the leads that are coming in. Okay. So, you know, if we're going to LiveGood, for example, and we go into stats, I mean, I'm not able to track everything, but, you know, I mean, Traffic Zest, I mean, mostly what I'm doing is I'm sending my traffic from Traffic Zest to other people's team. Okay. I'm using the traffic rotator. So you're not seeing everything. Okay. They get the results, you know, that's them. So, you know, I do get results. I have had upgrades. This traffic rotator, I'm also on the traffic rotator, you know, and I have been sending hits to my traffic rotator, and I'm also on there at the moment because you know, we're just getting people worthy to be on there. And you know, although it's not only Traffic Zest, there are other things like Traffic Ad Bar and other traffic like Leads Leap and so on. But I do get results. So yeah, there are, you know, we get results, but it's not magic. It's not a push button magic system or whatever. but it's an opportunity for you guys to get some people to work with, to build your mailing list. Okay. And honestly, guys, you know, this is what I've been doing for the last 8 years, off and on. Just, I mean, well, not off and on at all. Just constantly, I have traffic going to, you know, from traffic that I've paid for. All right. And that's how I've been able to build up a large list. All right. And then I'm able to promote to that list. And I've been doing that for the last 8 years, promoting to my list. And, you know, this is not the only reason why I'm able to build up big teams, obviously, because I do have a YouTube channel, and that's the obvious thing is you're on my YouTube channel right now, and I get results from my YouTube, I get results from my social media. It's the big picture, guys. You got to do everything. You can't just focus on, you know, one thing or another, you know, and certainly not just paid traffic. To think that, especially with, you know, network marketing specifically, because it's really relationship building with network marketing. People join people, all right, and they need to know that they can trust you. All right. This industry has really shaken up a lot of people. They don't know that they can trust someone who they don't know, you know. I mean, you know, turn it back onto yourself. You know, would you join someone you don't even know on a network marketing company? You know, you need to have someone you can communicate with, someone that's showing you that they care. So, you know, turn it around, and, you know, think of it on from the viewpoint of the lead, where, you know, why would they be willing to join you? There's such a lot of noise out there, and they're probably being pitched on all kinds of businesses, and, you know, you just got to get above the noise. So that's why we say you got to follow up. You can't just rely on an autoresponder, because people know if they're on a real autoresponder, and if they're getting an autoresponder message, they know it is an autoresponder. And although autoresponders are great and they work, it makes such a big difference if they're getting an email, a personalized email directly from you. They know the difference. Trust me, guys. Okay. And not only that, you need to try and figure out other ways to get in touch with them. Try and search them out on Facebook. Send them a friend request. And again, guys, this is another reason why you need to be active on social media, because people will watch you. Say, who is this guy who's sending me a friend request? Oh, maybe he's the guy who emailed me. All right, let's have a look at his social media presence. You know, what's he doing? Oh, he's just jumping around all kinds of other businesses. He doesn't look very focused. Forget it. You know, I'm going to block him. You know, guys, that's what people do. You know, they'll block you because you don't have a very good social media presence. That's why I'm active on social media, because I know people are going to be checking me out. I want people to see that I'm you know, focused. I'm focused on the focused. So, you know, yeah, do that, guys. All right. But get on the links, the necessary links below. And if you want to get any particular share code, you've got the share codes here below. That's fine. However, if you want this share code, get in touch with me privately. Don't ask for this code in the comments below, because I can't even give it to you in the comments. I'm not just going to give this code out in the comments. So you'll get it privately if you get in touch with me. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this video was useful, and see you in the next training. Bye for now.